Right, hello, welcome back. Right, let's get into this. I'm really happy. So we're gonna continue from the lad done yesterday, yeah. And I've got into it, and I've got the link, and I'm telling you now, this link is golden. You know what I mean? You can't. This is golden. Right, so check the lines, check the pattern, yeah, and then we're gonna explain this, yeah. So look at that. So we've got the lines going down, yeah, and then the two boxes that are linked, yeah, the two squares that are two rectangles or squares that are linked, and the lines going down. So those lines going across the bottom are all I Ching, yeah. So we're going to show the link to the book. They're all I Ching, and then the two lines coming down are all Quran, yeah. So we're going to show the link and the crossover and what's happening. Right, so we're going, as we keep coming back to, following the 74, the 71. But there's also another thing in here. Completion, yeah, before completion, which is the 64 hexagrams, do you know what I mean? And then following again at the back of the book. So the 147 following. So this is stating, I'm saying this is what it's saying, is look, we've got the I Ching, and then we were following from hexagram 17, 71, yeah, to the end of following on 74. Little hangover on 75, we know that we've done that. So we're following from the front of the back of the book, and then we go to following. So where are we? Then we get this up, and then we get to following at the back of the book, yeah, hexagram 17, but from page 471. There's our 471, yeah, and then that reads to the end on 475, and then you see we've got the 475, yeah. So we've got 475. We've got our 714, which is our 417. Sorry, you can't see me doing that, but like if you see there, so I'm gonna hold it long enough. So if you hold it like that, you can see the 417 and the 475 coming down. And then as we're going across, we're going to show the other link. So showing that we're following from the back and the front. Do you know what I mean? So we're following from the back and the front. So we're leading from the back and from the front. Do you know what I mean? So this is why it's before completion. Right, we can't get to completion. We're going to show this link here because we're leading from the front and the back. We're following from the left and the right. Do you know what I mean? And we're leading from the left, from the right and the left. Because this is completion. We're centered. We're in the middle. So we're in the middle of the book. So we've got this boxed off. So if we're looking at the book here, you see it's like that. We've got this boxed off and we've got this boxed off in a sense, yeah, because we're following. And we've got the number pattern for the front of the book, even though like this is a metaphor, you know what I mean, right? But and then we've got the number pattern for the following at the back of the book. So we've embedded that number combination that is in me. Do you know what I mean? So we're in the middle. So this is us in the middle. Do you know what I mean? This is me in the middle, but we're always centered. Do you know what I mean? So we've got this philosophy boxed off, really. It's embedded in us. So we start to naturally take on all of the positive elements of this book. Do you know what I mean? So I'm really happy with this. So that's that bit. Then we've got also within this, we've got then the 781 and the 711. So we've linked this to 64, hexagram 64. So we go all the way to the back of the book. And we know that the I Ching number is 781. Sorry, 7718. Yeah. So we've got, so that's this is hexagram 64. Then we go to the beginning of it on 714, page 714, hexagram 64. Yeah, before completion. So we've got our 714, and then we've got our 718. Linking before completion, meaning that we're always in a state of before completion, because we're following and leading at the same time. We're following and leading at the same time. So there's no after completion. There's only before completion, because there's never a completion. Because as we're moving to following, we're moving to leading. Then we're going to following, and this is the Two of Pentacles again. We come back to the other Two of Pentacles and the overlay of this dance that's mint. Do you know what I mean? It's not unbalanced. We've balanced it. So that link is absolutely crystal clear. It's there. Do you know what I mean? All of the numbers, all the numbers fit perfectly, and we can explain it, because don't forget, this is so what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm going to put this in this way. Right. So this is coming across, so it's east to west, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So the movement is east to west. So is this for me showing that now that eastern, because this is like a specific vibration for the east, or a mental or spiritual understanding that's been in the east, and you have to go to the east in order to get that wisdom. Back in the day, so to speak, you know what I mean? You had to go to the east to go and work with the people to get that understanding. That is no longer the case. Yeah. So this is embedded in my system. Do you know what I mean? We've got the number pattern of it, even though that's from the Western numerological pattern. Whether that carries, well, again, there's only one heaven and one earth in it. There's only one earth. So we see I'm seeing this as can I see this as a 100 monkey syndrome thing? So that once you've got this number pattern, or you've embedded it in your head, that now goes out, that now expresses outward, you know what I mean? And people will grasp it, because it's an embedded, we've seen it in the book, it's a pattern, it is a pattern, do you know what I mean? So and that's like anyone, you learn the pattern, innit? Do you know what I mean? So once someone's got it, we've got it. Do you know what I mean? So that's that one. You know what I mean? So that's the I Ching link, right? Then we're going to link this as well again. So we got the numbers coming down, right? So these numbers coming down are Quran link numbers. So we go to, and then we're going to link this back to the lady of the day. So we go to Surah 43. And don't forget that the last one was Surah 44. So we've gone to the left. Yeah. So we've gone to the left. So if we go to Surah, and I can't read this, so it's been all mashed up and that, man. I didn't do that. All right. The beginning of Surah 43, ornaments, is on page 433. So we've got our 43 in the middle. We've got our 43 doubled. So we've got our 43 and our 433. And then we go and we read from 433 to the end on page 439. Yeah, so we read all of that surah to the end on page 439, and there's our 439. So 439, yeah, 43 from page 433. So that's boxed. That's 100%. And don't forget, we use our reverse. 6 is a 9, and 9 is a 6. But it's even the same on this side. That's just, you can flip that in it. So that's correct. And then we've got, and then what was the other one? 43. Right. And then we've got 45, right? So then we've got hexagram. Then we've got Surah 45. So we're going to go ornaments, smoke, kneeling. Yeah. So over this past read, that's what it'd be. You'd have read from smoke, then read to the left, ornaments, and then read to the right, kneeling. Why? Because we're centered. We've centered all of the books. So whereas in the East, they write left to right, and in the West, we do right to left. Now we've got the book and the mathematical pattern, and that centered us. We get led to a surah, that then we read that one, and then the next two will be from read to the left and then read to the right. Do you know what I mean? Because you're in the center. So you're not off balance, you're not off kilter. Do you know what I mean? This is why we have left and right wings, and it left wing, right wing, left wing, extremes of this, extremes of that. Do you know what I mean? So now that we've centered mathematically all of the books and all of the doctrine, I can't be left or right wing. I've got to be holistic. I've got to stand from the center and look at the mathematical pattern that links them up to now go, oh, well, I can read I Ching following, and knowing that I'm following from the center this book and this book, because that is the pattern. It's showing that we've got it boxed off from the left side and from the right side. We're not going, it's all this, it's all that. It's we're now in the middle going, well, no, it's more a bit of this and a bit of that. Do you know what I mean? And like we can bring it together. And obviously some of the understandings in the I Ching are 100% useful for some of the understandings and practices of the Quran. Because discipline is discipline. You know what I mean? Don't know what planet you're on, what country you're in. Discipline is discipline. If you want to discipline your mind, there are good philosophical Eastern methods in the I Ching to do that. There are also brilliant practices within the Quran in order for you to do that. So what's the issue? Like, what's the problem? I don't get it, man. Like, come on, man. Do you know what I mean? So this shows that is what's 100% at play, of now getting away from this TikTok of this, that. There's no this, that. It's a case of, listen, this is it. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what it is. So you can understand these doctrines and be balanced with it. You shouldn't be. If you've got issues with a particular philosophical way of thought, there's definitely something wrong with you, because it's only a philosophical way of thought. Do you know what I mean? Which does adjust depending on whether you decide to emigrate from here and go and live in Canada, or you want to emigrate from here and go and live in Tasmania. Do you know what I mean? Or they're all very Western ones, man, but you might want to go to China or something like that. Your embedded kind of vibrational state, philosophical understanding may have to go through a few adjustments, because you're in a different space in a different time, innit? You know what I mean? So that's natural. That's a good thing. You know what I mean? And you don't really want to be in conflict with that happening. Do you know what I mean? When that happens, or when you're going through that process, you don't really want to be in too much conflict about that, because it's unhealthy inside, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You can get upset, it stresses you out, and that. And it may be that you're in a situation that you have to go through. Do you know what I mean? And I suppose the more awareness you have of like other philosophical or understandings, is probably the easier that process may be. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's like it's going to happen, but it may help, it may alleviate it. Do you know what I mean? So I've got off a bit there, but that is clear. You know what I mean? So that hits, yeah. And this is what I was saying about the number pattern. You see, if that can't line up with all of the numbers, it's off. Do you know what I mean? It's off. That lines up with all of the numbers, so I know I'm in the right place. I think there was one more link, so I'm trying to think, because there's kneeling as well, 45. So again, we do our 45. and we go from 445, which is the 445, or we can go 445, and that's doubled because it's Surah 45, kneeling, 4, 3 fours, 1, 1, 2, and so 1, 2, 3 fours, and a 5. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we're sweet, we're on point. So we go from there, and then we're going to read to the end on page 449, and we've got our 4, a 6 reverses a 9, our 449. Do you know what I mean? So again, we're in the right place, and I can understand again. I'm going to link kneeling in with that following, with like in a case of like supplication, in case of prayer and things like that. Yeah. But we're kneeling and following in the right way. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I think. So I am happy with them links. As far as I'm concerned, that is like a really, that's like, that shows the pattern works. This is repeatable, and it's repeatable to new information every day. So if we're leading somewhere or going somewhere, is it that, well, every day is different, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? The only thing that's consistent is our following. Do you know what I mean? But there's also other information that always comes every day, because every day is different. There's a bit of a thing with that as well, like because I've had this where the day pattern stays the same, the number pattern stays the same for about like 3-4 days. So I'm thinking, is this of like that essentially that's one day? Do you know what I mean? So if the number pattern does not change, so essentially that is one day, because days are to be like owned, don't they? Do you know what I mean? Like countries own days, innit? Do you know what I mean? And they own days that are high vibrational days. Do you know what I mean? So in, so to speak, like it'll be a high numerical value day or something, or there'll be a frequency on that day that's very high. So you know what I mean? Like England owns April the 23rd, St George's Day. You know what I mean? March, Ireland owns like the 17th of March, St Patrick's Day. America owns the 4th of July. Do you know what I mean? So there's days that we have particular associations with particular countries. You know what I mean? So this is because these days are like Axis Monday days. Do you know what I mean? So these are high vibration days, and I find that over that space, it may be that vibration is in for like 3 or 4 days. So that's why you have like a 3-day celebration, like a 2-day bank holiday and all that, because that vibration holds for like 2-3 days, and they want to get all the energy in it. Do you know what I mean? You want to get all the energy. So this is what this says to me. This is a crossover point now, where I'm saying, like, we've got pure Quran mental energy, and I suppose this, I'm going to take this to the lay, because we've got this union here of the King of Wands and the King of Swords. Do you know what I mean? So is it that this is showing the philosophical mind coming into play, which we can put as the King of Swords, and then the spiritual vibration coming down, mental male force, spiritual vibration is Quran. Do you know what I mean? So they're in alignment. They've been brought into alignment, and again, we see that the mathematical pattern brings them into alignment. Do you know what I mean? It works. So again, is this just for me? I'm trying to think in terms of vibrational. Do you know what I mean? The energy you send out. So from this is what I'm putting out in it. So it's going out into the reality in it. So is this like graspable type thing? Is it graspable? We're trying to ground it. We're trying to ground it and make it accessible and make it like understandable. So is that understandable? Is that like in line with that? So I'm really pleased with that. And we came back to, again, a lot of the times table, times 6. Yeah, I mean, we could, through these number patterns, you can times by 6 and you can times by 7, times by 8. So again, this is this mathematical kind of understanding coming back into unification. So I was really happy with this. And with this, yeah, and I got a few links to like 2050 agenda, you know what I mean, something about that, And again, like things, can we see the manifestation in the reality? Um, there must be confirmation in the reality. So otherwise, I'm just a mad black guy, yeah. So I'm just chatting pure nonsense, right? So don't take anything I say seriously. I'm just showing the fact. Listen, this guy's crazy. But he's trying to bring credibility to the tarot. You know what I mean? Like hopefully, um, the tarot is not nonsense. So yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm really happy with that. I'm really I like that. And there's a lot of emperor energy here. This for me is a lot of emperor kind of masculine force. We've got, again, we look at the lay, and I'm yeah, and it is the only female is the one on the moon, and that's the only real, and that is the true female, and it is the moon. So all of this, we've got all the masculine, all the male, and then we've got the moon feminine in the left hand corner at the bottom, and she is the feminine force. She is the full force. Do you know what I mean? And we're on the full force of the full force of nature. Do you know what I mean? We're ordering it. So the mind, so to speak. You know what I mean? So that's I'm pleased with that. And like, yeah, so I hope you've got something out of that. I'm saying you need to hopefully read 45, you know what I mean, Surah 45 and Surah 43, and see what you get out of it. But I'm saying it's this centeredness, being in the middle and now going from left to right, so that the brain is holistic. No information is all right wing or all left wing. Can't be, you know what I mean? There's got to be balance, you know what I mean? There's got to be balance. So thank you. Please subscribe. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do another lay today. So like, I think that one's boxed off. I think that one's done. So I'm going to do another lay, and I'm going to do that video and get that one up sorted. Thank you. Yeah. All right.